You want to know one way to tell if your friend from the IT division is in testing? Ask them any question, and if the response is Apache Maven, then they are in QA. Hey man, we're looking for a new test suite. Can you recommend something that works within the Java platform? Apache Maven. Alrighty, lunchtime, going to the cafeteria. I wonder what's for lunch? Apache Maven. Hey man, I heard you went on a Bumble date the other day. What was the name of the girl that you went out with? Apache Maven. Oh dude, somebody stole my keyboard and mouse. Do you know where it went? Apache Maven. Hey there ladies and gents, welcome back to the vlog. My name is Drew and I am just so happy that you're here today. Today we're going to be continuing the ELI CS Major series, and if it looks like I'm wearing the exact same garb as I did in the last two videos, you'd be correct, because I am sitting down and recording a number of these videos all at once because I am super excited about this topic. And I just have so many ideas that I want to get out there, so don't mind the black v-neck, although I wore black v-necks in a lot of my videos, but I digress. Today we're going to be talking about software testing, QA testing, and the wonderful world that is software testing as it encompasses in the world of professional IT. So, testing is interesting. I know, or I can count on one hand the number of people that I know that are in testing, but it's really incredible because while there's so very few testing engineers that I know, they're all extremely good at what they do. And I realize testing probably isn't the first choice that a lot of us have out of college. It's like, yeah, I'm going to go be a master Java engineer, or yeah, I'm going to go be a software engineer or a security engineer, or I'm going to go work as a network engineer or sysadmin at this big company. But testing? I don't know that anybody that I've ever met, at least in college, was like, yeah, I'm going to go out and become an Apache Maven ninja and become one of the best QA testers out there. But there are some people in this world that genuinely enjoy testing. I don't know why they genuinely enjoy testing, but they do. And again, I digress. Software testing is very important. Let me say that first and foremost. And like I said, I don't know if it's just by pure coincidence that I don't know a lot of people within the world of testing, but the testing folks are really, really a tight-knit group, I've noticed. And when you get really good at testing and you understand the tools and how to write test cases really, really quickly, you become indispensable to just about any organization, because inevitably when you are at crunch time, and I've been this way myself before, you're up against a deadline or you're at the end of a sprint and all of the developers realize that they shouldn't have been playing Counter-Strike for 3 hours that one Thursday, and they have to make all these deliverables so that they can get the product shipped. Inevitably holes start to come up. And the testing guys are usually the ones who discover those holes and say, hey, go patch this now before we deploy, and it costs us hundreds of thousands of dollars to fix, or hundreds of thousands in lost revenue because this patch brought our stuff down. That's why software is indispensable. Good testing engineers, you don't even realize that they're there, but they make the developer's job and the infra's guy's job so much more easy. And in an average day for a testing engineer, again, I'm not a testing engineer, but what I've heard, a lot of the work is built around writing very implicit test cases and basically using these tools to understand how a software behaves and how it misbehaves and how to mitigate those misbehaviors before they evolve into big, horrible, massive issues. So when it comes to testing, it really depends on which application and which language you're looking at. Obviously, I made the joke at the beginning of the video about Maven, but for a lot of Java applications, and there's tons of Java applications out in production right now, a lot of them use Maven for their testing framework. I remember I worked on a senior capstone at my university with a certain company that I don't know if I'm at will to say who it is, because we signed NDAs when we did the thing, but nonetheless, we were writing a test case or a test suite for a program within Java, and we used Maven, and it was a pretty cool platform. Now within my work, because I mentioned that I work at a software company, I work at a startup, and I work on an application team, and we have a testing team where the person that I work with within the testing team works a lot in Selenium. Selenium is a really cool tool that you can use for web applications specifically, and you can literally go page by page, click by click to try and either see if an application is behaving correctly or if it's behaving incorrectly in so many ways. And it's really cool because you literally click on everything that you want, you type in what you want, and then it builds it into a script, and you can run that script within the test suite. So there's so many tools out there for software validation and software QA testing and all that sort of stuff, and really the sky's the limit. It really just depends on what kind of application you're working on, what sort of languages you're working in, what environment you're working in. And there's a lot of variables, but if you can pick one niche and just get really, really good at that, then you will not be at a shortage of a job, because there's tons of needs for software testing. And I think a lot of companies are realizing just how important software testing is. If you look at a company like Facebook or Uber or one of the really, really big tech companies out there, Amazon, if there's a testing bug or a testing issue and they deploy that code and the site for whatever reason goes down or a function doesn't work, when you're talking about the volume of people that go to those sites, it could result in tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, or even millions of dollars in lost revenues. So to spare the salary of a couple testing engineers to keep you from losing hundreds of thousands of dollars later down the road, it makes a lot of sense from a business standpoint. And that's why a lot of companies are moving towards hiring a lot of QA and test engineers. So my recommendation would be, if you're trying to get into testing, definitely make sure you understand the ins and outs of your language of choice, for one. You have to understand how to write test cases and how to assert different things within your test suite. So understanding the language and how code flows within that language and how it can be built into other things is imperative. It's a lot different when you're debugging the JVM or you're doing something within the testing realm of the JVM or the environment in which Java runs versus PHP, which is sitting on a server somewhere, and you're succumb to not only the PHP issues, but also the stuff that's below it. So understanding the language and understanding how that language works is really, really important. Secondly, get really, really good at the tool that you're going to be leveraging, or get good with a couple different tools that you're going to be leveraging. So Maven, like I mentioned, Selenium. I'm trying to think of other testing softwares that I've used. Again, my history with testing isn't that broad, but there's tons of tools out there, and you can just do a Google for best testing tools to learn or something like that, or best software testing tools to learn. You can probably find an exhaustive list or a non-exhaustive list. That's what I meant to say. So, know your language, know your tools, and thirdly, a lot of people think testing is just writing the golden use cases, or the golden set as they call it in the world of testing. The golden set basically entails or verifies that all of the correct inputs and the correct actions are being taken. But a lot of testing, 90% of testing, is figuring out how to make things not work. So if I have a form that has 5 fields and you need all 5 fields to be filled out, then I'm going to write a golden case, or it's going to be the golden case that whenever you put in all 5 fields, it'll work. But you have to write cases for 1, 1 and 2, 1 and 3, 1 and 4. You have to kind of permutate over it to be thorough. And so a lot of testing is writing use cases for stuff that's not supposed to work and verifying that it indeed doesn't work. And if it does work, then you've got a problem. So you have to kind of find out the knowns and the unknown knowns and the unknown unknowns. So problems that the developer doesn't even think exist or theoretically shouldn't exist, but you find them and you go back and say, hey, this is a problem that I noticed. So testing is a very thorough area of IT. You have to be very thorough and very meticulous and understand very deeply the different aspects of different languages and environments in order to really be good at it. So yeah, what I would say is, if you want to get some practice, get used to these tools, but spin up a basic application, or spin up, just something simple or silly like a number counter or a casino game or something like that. And then build your test cases around it and see what happens when you start putting different code in different areas and start to really get an idea of how testing works. And then, of course, when you scale up to like a production application with tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of lines of code, you'll kind of have an idea of how it scales out and what the testing framework looks like, and you can kind of go forward from there. So yeah, I hope this gives you guys a very high-level view of testing. Like I said, there's hundreds of tools that you can use, and there's so many different areas within testing, and the need is only going to be higher and higher as people realize just how valuable testing is. So if you have a career in security or a career in testing, you're probably good for the next couple of years or the rest of your career. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have another idea for an ELI CS major video, leave a comment down below and say what you'd like to see. And if you really like the video, leave a like and be sure to subscribe. That way, whenever we release a new ELI CS major video, you'll be the first to know. And as always, friends, we're going to wrap up in the traditional way, and that is by me saying, always remember that you are wanted, you are loved, and you are appreciated. You have a special talent that nobody else has, and the world is waiting on you to bring it out. So muster a little courage, go out into the world, and change it. That's what the world's waiting on. You.